He's wearing the same outfit he did yesterday. No, I'm not. Actually, the sweatpants I washed, and I actually had washed the shirt I wore yesterday, but I don't know if you can actually read from here, but yeah, the shirt I was wearing yesterday was from 2013. This is 2014. And they both still fit. Then again, this is back before I lost all that weight too, so that was good for me. Let's see. What's my low, my high, my active kindness? I guess my low is the fact I freaked myself out a little bit because yesterday was daylight savings time, and I had to produce my live vlog on Facebook before it got to midnight. But then I looked up later, daylight savings time didn't start till 2 a.m. For the record, like the clock, right? My clock may say it's approaching like it's 8:30 now, but it should be like 7:30. So much for trying to get a good night's sleep, huh? Good thing they do this on Sunday. Otherwise, if we had to do daylight savings time and Monday was the next day, oh Lord, that'd be horrible. So that happened, but my high was family time. Did a lot of stuff yesterday. Saw my nephews. Got to dinner with them. So that was great. And my act of kindness was obviously helping my parents watch my nephews when we went to dinner. Good morning. Happy Sunday. So let's talk about everything that happened yesterday. So foremost, I was actually wrong. Cousins Bay Lobster is actually going to be at Upstate Brewing Company next week. So this upcoming Saturday. So again, as much as I would like to go, I don't think I'd have the time to do it. Like, yesterday would have been a better day to do it, just because, like, next Saturday I'm going to be in Corning all day. So I'm not really going to have the time to, go and go all the way back to Horseheads. Especially when, honestly, I should be spending the day with my father. Because it's fun. It's the right thing to do. Another thing that happened yesterday was congratulations to the Carolina Panthers for securing the #1 overall draft pick this year. Yeah, the Bears traded their #1 overall draft pick. Actually, a friend of mine is a huge Carolina Panthers fan, so I wonder how he is taking this. I mean, to my recollection, they gave up. The Carolina Panthers get the #1 pick. Bears go down to 9 because that was Carolina's pick originally. And I think it's like 4 draft picks. Like 2 of them this upcoming draft, a first rounder in 2024, and then like a late second rounder in 2025. I think that's how it is. I don't know. I could be wrong about that, but that happened. So really, the question is, who's going to get drafted first, C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young? It'll be interesting. Or perhaps maybe they won't. Maybe the Carolina Panthers need a quarterback. Pretty sure they have to do this. Let's see what else happened. So one thing I neglected to mention that did happen yesterday. It did happen yesterday, but my area had a St. Patrick's Day parade in Horseheads. I live in Elmira, but Elmira and Horseheads are like a stone's throw away from each other. So Horseheads had their annual St. Patrick's Day parade, which is good for them. First St. Patrick's Day parade they've had in years because of the pandemic. So to the good folks over at Horseheads, way to go. I hope you all had fun. Hope you had fun celebrating everything St. Patrick's Day, Irish and green. And yes, I'm sure there was probably a lot of drinking too. Although, funny story. We get to Storage's last night because my father and I got there first. Because my mom was helping with my nephews and everything. So we get there first, and we see a whole bunch of people who clearly looked as if they just come from the parade in Horseheads. So I'm like, wow, you guys travel all the way from Horseheads to Corning? Impressive. I mean, honestly, after the parade, I would want to do nothing except stay in Corning, or stay in, like, wherever the parade is, I would just rather stay in that area. Unless, for whatever reason, I didn't live there. I mean, actually, I really shouldn't talk. I mean, considering I went to both Sparkle and Cabin Fever and Holidays. They're not in Elmira, but I went to those. So, I guess what would I know? So, we see a whole bunch of people, like, and when I say I mean like a whole bunch of people, like walking all over the place. It turns out that they were doing a pub crawl. For those of you who may be too young to know what a pub crawl is, that's when a bunch of adults who are obviously over the age of 21 come together and walk from one place to another, all the while they stop at every bar they see. Well, supposed to be every bar they see. Sometimes they probably just skip one or whatever, but basically they stop at a bar, have a drink, move on to the next one. And you do that for however long it takes until you're either tired, too drunk to do anything, you want to go home, or a number of reasons why you'd want to stop. So basically, think Cabin Fever, what I did, only in my case it was like tastings of beer and wine and, you know, bourbon and any other like distillery-related objects or drinks, distillery-related drinks. Pretty much anything with alcohol, I had a small tasting of from one place to another. With a pub crawl, you have a whole pint of beer, or we're supposed to have a whole pint, or one full drink, and you know, let's just say your results may vary. And I'm like, because I mean, I don't know if I actually would have partaken in the pub crawl myself, considering I would have to pay for my beer. But I strongly would have considered doing it if I knew. Plus, in the end, I was better off being with my mom, my dad, and my nephews at Sorges last night. That was better. That's the right thing to do. That's the better thing to do. Actually, speaking of St. Patrick's Day, which is a Friday, I literally heard the best news when I was in church. Yeah, I know it's church, and it probably may not apply to a bunch of people, but the bishop gave us the dispensation. For those of you who don't know what that means, that's basically the bishop gave, at least the bishop in my area, that is, because where we are is the Diocese of Rochester. Actually, we say Rochester, people in Rochester say Rochester, but semantics. When the bishop gives a dispensation, you're allowed to do something you're allowed to do something that you normally wouldn't be allowed to do. In this case, with St. Patrick's Day being a Friday, and corned beef and cabbage being the traditional fare for St. Patrick's Day, normally we wouldn't be allowed to eat it, because corned beef is meat, we can't have meat on Fridays. But with the dispensation, now we can. I'm so happy. Oh, that's so great. I mean, keep in mind, this is the bishop in my area. Okay, like if you're a Christian or Catholic and you're watching this and you're not part of the Diocese of Rochester, you should probably get on where specifically you live before. Like, please do not take my words as you know, the end all be all, because they're not. But the fact I can have corned beef and cabbage on St. Patrick's Day. I mean, listen, admittedly, I have screwed up and had meat on Fridays during Lent before, or any meat product. I mean, first time I legit gave my mom's broccoli and Swiss cheese soup a chance, my mom made it with chicken stock. And you shouldn't have anything meat stock related either. So, kind of messed up that one there. But regardless, we got the dispensation. I hope we go for it because I'm going to be using because actually, my mom just had wrist surgery, but she's going back to work next Saturday. Friday is going to be her last day off. So to have a corned beef and cabbage dinner with my family on St. Patrick's Day, like, I'm sure my mom will love that. Like, just being together. I love corned beef and cabbage. Seriously, like, full disclosure, I just love how, cabbage tends to, like, become like a wrap, kind of. That you just, like, wrap it up and, like, eat it like a burrito and stuff like that. I love that. I can't wait. I love corned beef and cabbage. It's, I know I teased I would do a Mom Food Chronicles a Mom Food edition of my full course menu of life. For the life of me, I don't know if I could actually come up. Well, I would say the main course. For now, I'll say the main course is like the showstopper, or the main course should be like the main event. Like if whatever the main event is. So corned beef and cabbage, prime rib, or in the case of what I'm having today, a turkey dinner. Yeah, that's actually the real thing I'm excited for today specifically is my grandfather just turned 89. And he turned 89 on Thursday, the 9th. And we're going to celebrate his birthday today with a turkey dinner. So, I've told this story before, but in honor of him, this is my grandfather on my father's side. My grandfather on my mother's side has sadly passed away. But in the case of my grandfather on my father's side, and this is something I'll never forget, and years later, I did thank him for this. So, I got closure. But many years ago, I was about to turn, so when I was 2, about to turn 3, it was Christmas Eve. And my father was giving me a bath. And I had a fever-related seizure. So that night I was rushed to the hospital. And that means I actually had to spend Christmas in the hospital too. Crazy, right? So, my father rushed me to the hospital. It turns out I had a seizure. It was a virus. Keep in mind, I don't have any problems with seizures or anything, but what happened was a freak anomaly at best. So, don't have any problems with that. But the night, because I had to spend a couple days in the hospital, because, I'm 2 years old, you gotta make sure everything's fine. Can't have anything bad happen. The night that I was in the hospital, my grandfather stayed with me for that whole night. Years later, I was told this story, and I've never, ever forgotten that. And keep in mind, my grandfather's old-fashioned, he's old school, and sometimes he'll say things that, are kind of dumb. But honestly, there's really nothing bad my grandfather could really ever do that could ever outweigh the good that was being there for me in the hospital that night. So, happy birthday, Grandpa. You're probably never gonna watch this. I'm sure someone's gonna see this though and wish him a happy birthday. So, when you do, thank you, by the way. I'll be seeing him later today. Gonna give him a big old hug and a kiss. He's my grandfather. Have a nice turkey dinner. And honestly, I'm emotional for a couple reasons, because I love my grandfather, of course. But also, this is going to be the last turkey dinner I have until November. I am almost positive that's what's going to happen. Unless, for whatever reason, my brother wants a turkey dinner for his birthday. or for whatever reason, my mom thinks, you know what, I'll make turkey. I don't think that's going to happen though. So, it's going to be the last turkey dinner I have until November. But, that's okay. I mean, honestly, listen, spring is just a little over a week from now. Slowly but surely, no longer are we going to have, casseroles and slow cooked dinners and crock pots and heavy dishes. Give us something like fresh produce, using a grill, lighter fare, something cool and refreshing perhaps. Like, we're slowly but surely working our way there. So, if this is the final, technically it's not the final crock pot related dish. I mean, I just mentioned, because my mom makes corned beef and cabbage in the crock pot, we'll be having that on Friday. So that's going to happen. Yeah. This year's been going by pretty quick. And, hold on. Actually, there's a wood right here on. I don't know if that was a good idea if I just made everything shake. Nothing bad's happened this year. I knocked down wood, so I think I'm safe. I hope you liked this video. If you did, like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on social media. As always, I am very humble in this video for all of you guys watching Joe today. But we have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Sunday. And remember, if you guys want to talk to everyone's going to be here to lend and always hear back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.